Imagine standing before some of the purest, most translucent water the human eye can see. Here, in the breathtaking valley of Kamakochi, Japan, the Azusa River flows as clear as crystal, surrounded by the peaceful, snow-capped peaks of the Japanese Alps. It appears to be a landscape of absolute serenity. But a profound geological paradox lies directly beneath your feet. Underneath this frozen, pristine paradise sits a powerful and restless force, Mount Yakadake, an active volcano. Deep within the earth, an immense energetic process operates in complete silence, requiring no mechanical pumps, no noisy engines, no human intervention whatsoever. This hidden phenomenon is known as a natural hydrothermal circulation system, and it represents one of the most elegant examples of fluid dynamics ever engineered, not by humanity, but by the planet itself. And at its heart lies a question that should be impossible to answer. Water flows downhill. This is not an opinion. It is one of the most fundamental rules of the physical world, a rule so basic that children understand it before they can read. But here, in the volcanic depths beneath Kamakochi, water is flowing uphill. Silently, continuously, without a single pump, without a single moving part. How? The process begins when volcanic magma chambers heat subterranean water reservoirs trapped deep underground, in some systems pushing temperatures beyond 200 degrees Celsius, while the immense underground pressure prevents it from boiling. Then, pure physics takes over. Gravity pulls the cooler, denser water downward toward the heat source. As that water absorbs the volcanic energy, its density drops sharply while its pressure surges. This extreme density differential creates a powerful upward force. The superheated water drives itself toward the surface through geological faults, while cooler water immediately rushes in to replace it. The planet has built its own hydraulic elevator. No machinery, no energy input, just the relentless logic of thermodynamics, running silently beneath one of Japan's most serene landscapes. And during the brutal Japanese winter, when surrounding mountains are buried under the heavy ice and temperatures plunge far below freezing, this invisible underground engine keeps portions of the Azusa River ice-free, sustaining an entire ecosystem in the heart of a frozen world. But the real mystery wasn't that the water moved. The real mystery was why this system never collapsed. Underground fracture networks should clog with minerals. Pathways should erode and seal themselves shut. The pressure gradients should destabilize over time. By every reasonable engineering expectation, a system like this should have failed centuries ago. So researchers conducted advanced geophysical surveys deep beneath Kamakochi, mapping the hidden fracture networks that carried this hydrothermal flow. And what they found stopped them cold. These subterranean pathways were not random. They were not chaotic. They followed a precise, repeating mathematical structure, a pattern known as fractal geometry. And then the researchers did something unusual. They compared the fractal pattern of these volcanic rock fractures to two completely unrelated biological systems: the branching network inside the human lung, the vein structure inside a common green leaf. Three systems, three completely different materials, three completely different scales, three completely different functions. One identical mathematical blueprint. A universal design woven into the very fabric of creation. Across eras and vast differences in nature, in volcanoes, in lungs, in leaves, the exact same structural geometry remains constant. Not by coincidence, but because this particular fractal pattern solves the same universal problem: how to distribute fluid and energy across a complex system with the absolute minimum amount of resistance. It is not just a pattern. It is nature's most efficient algorithm, written in rock, written in biology, written in the veins of every living thing on Earth. This fractal blueprint was so perfectly optimized, so ruthlessly efficient, that when engineers faced one of the greatest technological crises of the modern age, the answer had already been written underground for thousands of years. Today, artificial intelligence is hitting a silent wall. Modern AI data centers consume astronomical amounts of energy, not just to process data, but simply to prevent their own components from melting. A single large data center can consume millions of gallons of water every day for cooling alone. Mechanical fans run continuously. Massive cooling towers operate around the clock. The energy cost of keeping these systems cold rivals the energy cost of running them. For years, engineers were trapped by this efficiency ceiling until they looked back at the laws of planetary circulation. The same thermodynamic principle driving Kamakochi's hydrothermal system now powers loop heat pipes used in the world's most advanced AI supercomputers and deep space satellites built by agencies like NASA and JAXA. The mechanism is elegant in its simplicity. A sealed pipe loop contains a specialized working fluid. As the AI processor heats up under heavy computational load, the liquid boils automatically, no pump required. The vapor carries the intense heat away to a condenser, releases it, cools down, and flows back to the heat source. The cycle repeats, continuously, silently, indefinitely. No pumps, no moving parts, no external energy input. The cooling system runs entirely on the thermal output of the machine. It is protecting the exact same principle that keeps Mount Yakadake's hydrothermal network circulating beneath the ice of Kamakochi. The physics existed in nature long before humanity built its first computer. We simply finally looked closely enough to see it. Iceland's engineers learned to work with volcanoes and glaciers instead of against them. The engineers cooling today's AI supercomputers learned the same lesson from a river in Japan. Nature does not waste. Nature does not overcomplicate. Nature does not force. It finds the most efficient path, and then it holds that path for millions of years. For most of engineering history, humanity's default response to a problem was to build something bigger, louder, and more powerful. More pumps, more fans, more mechanical force. The industrial age was defined by the belief that brute force could solve anything. Kamakochi quietly disagrees. The most powerful cooling system on Earth has no moving parts. The most efficient fluid distribution network ever discovered was not engineered by humans. It was grown, slowly, in volcanic rock. And the mathematical blueprint that makes it work has been operating, unchanged, since long before our species existed. The future of sustainable technology is not about building more powerful machines. It is about finally understanding the engineering brilliance of the Creator, evident in the machines nature has already perfected. The next time an AI answers your question in seconds, remember, the physics keeping it from melting was borrowed from a river in Japan, shaped by a volcano that has been running silently for thousands of years. We didn't invent that solution. We just learned to read it. If you want to keep exploring the hidden physics and unscripted systems that shape our world, subscribe to the Unscripted Show and tell us in the comments, what hidden marvel do you want us to deconstruct next? We'll see you in the next discovery.